We're going to multiply polynomial expressions by monomials. Multiplying polynomial expressions by monomials. So we talked about an expression last week being something that doesn't have an equal sign, or an equation has an equal sign. Does anyone remember what a polynomial is? Okay, so a polynomial has multiple terms separated by addition or subtraction signs. Okay, so multiple terms separated by addition and subtraction signs. Any guess what a monomial is? Monomial? Okay, good guess. Not quite. Just one of those. It's a single term. Mono means single, singular. Okay, so it's a singular term. So we're going to start by multiplying monomials. So a single term multiplied by a single term. So I have 6x to the third times negative 4x to the fourth. Now that should look familiar to you because we looked at these when we did exponents. We just didn't call them monomials at the time. So 6x to the third times negative 4x to the fourth. Where do we start? Multiply your coefficients. 6 times negative 4, negative 24. Now we deal with exponents. What do we do with the exponents in this case? You add them. 3 plus 4 is 7.
Easy once you know the steps.
Mm-hmm.
You're good. Anything? Cup of coffee?
I'm good.
Okay.
All right, try this one. Let me just talk about this. So you're multiplying your coefficients first. So 5 times 7, 35. I have 1x here and 1x here for a total of 2 x's. And I have 2 here and 1 here for a total of 3 y's. Okay, we did that with exponents, right? What you have to remember is when you are multiplying powers, you add the exponents. There were some of you when we were adding and subtracting that added exponents. When you are adding and subtracting, the only thing you add and subtract are the coefficients out front. Okay, so you have to remember both rules. Some of you may need to make a note to yourself on that. Okay. Let's multiply a polynomial by a monomial. So I have 3x times the quantity 3x squared plus 6x minus 5. What does that look how does that look familiar to you? Does it look potentially like the distributive property? Yeah, it should, right? It's what we did in our warm-up. It's just we have a longer polynomial with more variables. But we're just distributing, okay? All you have to do is remember your rules. So if you distribute to all the terms, multiply the coefficients first, add exponents. So 3 times 3 is 9, x to the third. 3 times 6 is 18, x to the second, or squared. And then I have 3x times negative 5. So 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, and you attach that x, because there's still one of those x's. The one other thing I want you to check for is to make sure it's in standard form. So are the exponents in descending order, highest exponent to lowest exponent? Okay, so as long as they are, you can leave your answer like that. If not, you do need to rewrite it in standard form. Okay, let's try another one. So I have a negative x times 2x to the fifth minus 3x squared plus 7. What number or coefficient is in front of that x?
1.
Technically, it's a negative 1, right? So negative 1 times 2 is negative 2x to the sixth, because we add our exponents. Then I have a negative 1 times negative 3, which is a positive 3x to the third. And then negative 1x times a positive 7 is a negative 7x. Again, am I in standard form? Yes, so we're good. This is easy? All right. So I said we probably won't see double variables very often, but just in case we do, we should know how to handle it. So let's try one. 2xy times 5x squared y plus 3xy squared plus 7xy. Here's what I will say for these. When we distribute that 2xy and you have your final answer, just leave it in the order that it came in. It gets too confusing to try to move it around. If you have a single variable, I want it in standard form. Okay? So see if you can distribute 2xy to that polynomial and get a final answer. Someone want to help me? Mackenzie?
You figure 2 times 5.
Okay. So you get 10.
And then your x to the power of 3.
Good.
And your y to the power of 2.
Perfect. So you should have, for your first term, gotten 10x to the third y squared. And then plus, just go ahead and tell me the next term.
12x to the power of 2, y to the power of 3.
12? 2 times 3?
Oh, 6.
6x to the
power of 2,
2.
y to the power of 3. Plus
Thank you. And then plus 14.
x to the power of 2, y to the power of 2.
Perfect. So 10x to the third y squared plus 6x squared y to the third plus 14x squared y squared. Again, with the double variables, you can leave it in the order it comes in. Cool? Okay, so let's now combine multiplication and adding and subtracting. Let's start here. 2x times x squared minus 3x plus 2, and then plus a 2x. what do we have to take care of first? The multiplication. So let's distribute. Okay, that's where we're going to start. So 2x to the third minus 6x squared plus 4x. Everyone okay with that? And then I have this plus 2x on the end. So if I'm rewriting in standard form, it's kind of already in that order for me. I have a 2x to the third minus 6x squared plus 6x. You have to combine those like terms at the end. Are you okay with that? Okay, let me give you a couple to try. So I'd like you to try number 5 and number 6. So number 5, there are 2 sets of the distributive property before you combine like terms. So first I'm going to distribute the 2x, which gives me 4x to the third minus 8x. I'm then going to distribute a negative 1x, which gives me a negative 3x to the third plus 7x. Did you get that when you distributed? Okay. Combine like terms in standard form. So 4x to the third and a negative 3x to the third is a positive x to the third. Negative 8 plus, plus 7 is a negative 1x or just negative x. Yes? Awesome. Okay, next one. When I distribute, I get 14x squared minus 42x. Am I distributing anything over here?
Yes,
The 2. The 2 multiplies to each of these terms. Okay, that 2 does not have an addition or subtraction sign next to it, which means it's multiplied by this whole set. Okay, that then gives me, and I'm going to start from the front though. So I have 8x squared minus 14x minus 8. 8x squared minus 14x minus 8. Now I can combine like terms. Highest exponent? The squared, so 14 plus 8, 22x squared. After that, I have a negative 42x and a negative 14x, which gives me negative 56x. And it looks like I just have this negative 8 left on the outside. Questions, comments, concerns? Do we need to see any other ones like any of those problems? Or are we okay? Okay, great. Your homework is in your cubby.